Today I'm going to talk about mourning the loss of your eating disorder and mourning the loss of the time that you've lost to it. They're both quite opposing ideas, but you can obviously feel both at the same time because our emotions are quite complex. I'm going to talk about mourning the loss of your eating disorder first. It might seem to some people to be quite strange to mourn the loss of something that's been so destructive and so painful, and actually, it's quite normal to experience these feelings. An eating disorder is a coping mechanism for a lot of people, and it can really help manage very negative feelings, events of trauma, depression, anxiety. All kinds of things can be helped with an eating disorder. It can numb out emotions, it can give a focus, it can give feelings of power, control, all those kinds of things. So actually the loss of it can be quite significant. If you are feeling that you're mourning the loss of your eating disorder, don't feel weird or bad about that. That's a normal thing to feel, and it's okay for you to feel that. It's been a huge part of your life, so actually taking time to mourn it and say goodbye to it is fine. You just need to make sure that that mourning period doesn't turn into missing it enough for it to come back again and be a manipulative emotion from your eating disorder to pull you back in and make you use behaviours again. So make sure that the mourning period is a goodbye period, not something that's going to suck you back in. The mourning has to be like a funeral for someone who's died. It's got to be the time to say bye, not the time to say hello again. It's fine to mourn your eating disorder. It's normal to mourn your eating disorder, but make sure that it is a period of mourning, not the eating disorder trying to pull you back into its clutches. The other thing to talk about is mourning the time that you've lost to your eating disorder, and this is really understandable. People can lose years to their eating disorder, and obviously that's not good that you've lost all this time to the eating disorder, and it's so understandable to be really upset about that, to feel guilty or ashamed or sad or remorseful that this time has been wasted dedicated to an eating disorder. But you have to also respect the fact that you didn't really have a choice in that matter. Yes, you might have been able to choose recovery before, but the fact that you didn't showed that you weren't in a position to do so at that point. It is really terrible that that time has been lost to something so awful, but that's how it is and that's what's happened, and it's about facing that reality. And instead of continuing to look back and be really sorrowful about all that time that you've missed, look forward to all the time that you've now given yourself by choosing to recover. Choosing to recover means that you now have years and years that you can live without your eating disorder and enjoy the life that you have. Yes, it's really terrible that you've lost that time, but the thing is you've now chosen to recover. That means you have chosen life and you have given yourself life that you may not otherwise have had. It's okay to feel negative feelings about losing that time, but you're in the clutches of a really severe and dangerous mental illness that you didn't choose. That isn't your fault. You can't blame yourself for experiencing something like that. A mental illness is not something you choose, and you can't be at fault for that. So don't blame yourself. Yes, okay, you can be sad that you've missed that, but at the end of the day, it's gone now, and that's happened, and it's crap, but it's fine because you're looking forward now. You're moving forward now to something bigger and better, and you're going to be able to experience life and experience joy and have positive experiences and actually be able to live rather than just merely exist. And that's a choice that you've made, and that's brilliant, and that shows your strength and your courage and your determination to live. You don't need to continue looking back, because we all have things in our life that we regret and we wish hadn't happened, but they have, and there's nothing you can do to change the past. All you can do now is work towards that brighter, better future where you are healthy and happy. Really, it's that simple. I mean, it isn't that simple when you are the one feeling those things, but in reality, it's those simple steps that you need to follow, even if they're hard to do emotionally. This has been a really short video, but it's quite a simple topic, but it's something that a lot of people experience, so I thought that I needed to talk about it, especially as it was requested by someone on my Tumblr. I just wanted to make sure that people are trying to look at the positives and not looking back at something that they can't change, and really keeping on moving forward and be excited about the new experiences they're going to have when they're more recovered, or as recovered they are now, but yeah, these new things that are going to be positive and great and wonderful. Focus on those and know that you're doing the right thing now, and that's all that matters. I know that it's getting a bit cold, so I hope everybody's wrapped up well and that people are, you know, gaining weight so that this isn't such an unpleasant winter. I remember that my first winter in recovery, when it was only just after I started recovering, was horrendous. I was so cold all the time. I wore a hat. Even when I was in bed with my duvet on, I was wearing hats and gloves and scarves because I was so cold, even though the heater was like on full. And I just remember how just cold in my bones I was that entire winter, and I was dreading winter every year. But now I don't dread it so much because I'm not so cold, especially when I'm inside, and before it was even when I was inside. So make sure you guys, you know, gaining weight, eating enough, not exercising, so that you can get to a healthier weight and not be so uncomfortable during this winter. I hope everybody is trying all the Christmas drinks at like Costa or Starbucks and really getting into the festive period. I've got gingerbread and I want to try all the drinks at Costa and obviously Starbucks, but Costa's the one in my town. So I'm really excited about Christmas this year, and yeah, I think it's going to be fun. So I hope everybody's getting into the festive spirit. Although I have had some people on my Tumblr say that they're putting up Christmas decorations now. And I had quite a few people message in after I was like, what? And say that they're doing the same thing. Guys, it's November. I mean, like, yay, get into the festive spirit, but it's November. You're not supposed to put your decorations up till December. I don't think we even put our decorations up until like a week or two beforehand. But I know it's like, everything is done like bigger and better in America. Well, not always better, but definitely bigger. And I guess sometimes better, especially when it comes to Halloween. But anyway, veering off the topic of Christmas, like I know that they do things earlier and bigger in America, but like it's still November, guys. It is still November. So, you know, you should be waiting till December, but by all means go ahead. If you're that excited, go ahead. But yeah, I disapprove. I do. Anyway, I'm glad you're having fun, and I hope that everybody is challenging their eating disorder, staying strong, and being kind and gentle to themselves. So I will speak to you soon.